Sorry, I'm not a good podcaster. This is the first video I ever did like this, bro. All right.
I spent some time with Marvin Joles and we talked about the process of how he added line striping to his seal coating business. We're covering the importance of maximizing profitability and also the logistics behind mobilizing a crew and much, much more. But before we get to that, if you're interested in parking lot striping and want to start a business that's highly profitable, we've got an 8-hour training course that covers striping, how to get customers, marketing material, and much, much more. Link will be the first pinned comment in the comment section and the description. Or if you're interested in getting some in-person training and want some hands-on experience in the field, you can text me as well, letting me know that you're interested in getting that information. But it is an investment, so if you're not really serious about making the commitment for the in-person classes, you can always just grab the How to Stripe course. My number will be in the pinned comment section and the description of this video. Like the video, let's get to it.
All right, Marvin, if I can ask, what's the perfect time to add seal coating to your line striping business?
Well, see, I did it backwards. I added line striping to the seal coating business, right? So I think to take that in perspective, if I use it that way and use that analogy of the system, it was kind of when I wanted to stop subcontracting that out, right? Realizing I was losing money to my line striper essentially, right? And he was making money where I could on a simple adjustment and just by getting the equipment to do it. So I think that's really like the clinch point. You can start it, obviously you can get into seal coating. I think I've made some videos about that where you can get into it pretty affordably. And so you can do some of the smaller ones. When you get into the larger game, obviously you're gonna need some bigger equipment. It's gonna take a little more manpower and specialized equipment. So for me, I think when you get to that point when you know, when it starts to hurt, right? When you're like, man, I wish we would have been seal coating that thing. You hit a few of those and you're like, ooh, all right, we should figure out how we need to take this thing on.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I started with line striping. And then when I started with line striping, it was just like you said, I'm getting requests now to self-perform the seal coating.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing that if I don't get a tank, all of this money I'm gonna lose.
Yeah.
And when you first started adding line striping, you add it to your service. I mean, did it just essentially expand? Because you started with seal coating, then added striping?
Yeah, I started with seal coating and then added striping. And we did smaller stuff first, right? And then if it was real complicated, like I wasn't good at radiuses, I'm still not really. Eli's better than I am at it. And complicated layouts, right? If it's angled and it's staggered angled, I was having trouble with a lot of that. I learned a lot of it then later on, right, when I sought out people who were more experienced. So I started doing the smaller stuff, and then I would challenge myself to do a little bit bigger stuff. But even like the more difficult things, I would still subcontract those out for a while. But I stayed on those jobs so that I could learn how to do it and how to lay things out and help myself out when I did it. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with it. It just seems to me that once you start to get that feeling of, dang, I should be self-performing this. The other big thing was I was on my striper's schedule, right? So we have a lot of clients where their bread and butter is made 6 days of the week, 5 days of the week, and we shut down, right? We're in a rural area, they'll shut down Saturday and Sunday, and we're ways out from any like good sized stripers. They're an hour or better away from us. So we would get small windows at some of these factories to seal coat it, and then I needed the striper to come all that distance to come over and stripe it, and I would be paying a pretty penny, or I'd just get flat out told, nah, we can't make it that day. And I would lose my logistics. So once we started to just self-perform it, all the logistics were on my button then, and I didn't have to worry about whether the striper could make it there or not. It allowed me to be more confident in what I told my customers as well. It was like, hey, we're gonna get there on Sunday at 12, you're gonna be able to be back on it Monday at 7,